What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm gonna start off by saying this, and welcome everybody. Thanks for love. We appreciate all y'all in the section, man. Philly Uncensored Sports Podcast here in your living room, on your phone, and all that good stuff at all our platforms. I think we done said it enough. Y'all should know. I'm gonna start off by saying this, and I agree because I saw some of the comments before I came in. I think it was RJ that may have said it. Let me see, just to make sure. I want to give credit where credit is due. Yeah, only the Sixers let a team shoot almost 100%. This don't make no sense whatsoever. What I just saw tonight, and I understand sometimes players get hot, but it was everybody. We gonna go into why, some of the reasons, but let me give props to Zach Lavine. My man couldn't miss.
He blacked out.
Couldn't miss. I gotta give props, even though a lot of it was a lack of defense and rotating and all that. He couldn't miss. 11 for 13. I don't even think the greatest shooter of all time, that we all know, is Steph Curry, ever shot that good from three and hitting 10 threes. Now let's keep in mind, he hit the most double-digit threes in history, right? He holds the record for 22 games with 10 or more threes in a game. But I think they said this is the third time that Zach Lavine has done that. Zach Lavine ain't even known to be a dead-eye shooter like that. He's known to get hot here and there. But this is crazy. 11 for 13 is unbelievable. That's the main reason why we lost that game. We're going to get into some other reasons why we lost. We can see y'all up in the comment section. Y'all dropping some knowledge. I seen somebody mention about Paul Reed, which was facts, after the Bull, listed name, they center, ex-Sixer, after he just grabbed every rebound in sight. It wasn't a rebound that he ain't like that. He ain't grabbed. The only Bull actually grabbed a rebound next to him was Tobias on our team. Even my man Trez, I gave Trez a lot of props, and he be hustling and stuff like that. But the Bull, what's his name? Somebody tell me his name. His name is eluding me right now. They center. He was on the glass like a fiend tonight. It was and he couldn't miss. He was like 60, ended up shooting like 63, 64% from the field. Whoo! It started off good. We looked good from the beginning. I thought we was going to win this game. I was hoping we was going to cruise to victory because whatchamacallit didn't play well. DeRozan was probably the only one, out of the Bulls starters that really didn't play well. So I thought we had a decent chance, even though we ain't had Embiid. And that turned the tide real quick. And whatchamacallit just kept missing. Before you know it, that game got out of hand. We tried to bring it back a little bit with a couple shots by Tobias and one by Harden late in the game, like 2 minutes left. But it was too little, too late. That game was over. Over. What's your thoughts? Vucevic, that's his name. I don't know if none of y'all help me out with that, but yeah, that's his name.
All right. So, all right. Doc Rivers, I'm gonna be talking on both sides of my mouth. I'm gonna do it Ephraim and Wayne, and I'm gonna talk on both sides of my mouth.
Okay. I don't do that, but go ahead.
See, here's the thing. I'm looking at what the Sixers done in the last since the start of the season. They put up a stat. B missed 10 games, Harden missed 4 weeks, and Maxey missed 6 weeks. With all that being said, we still were only down like 3 games out of first place. So Doc Rivers and his coaching staff has done a lot of things right to get us where we are right now, where we're still in the running for that number 1 seed. But there's certain things that he do as an older coach that frustrates me, like not playing Paul Reed in a game where not only do the Bulls have height, but they also have athletes, and they threw the athletes on us in that third quarter, and that's why they outscored it. They scored 39 points in the third quarter, killed us because they use athletes. They put the big guys, athletic guys on Tyrese. I mean, it was just really a tough situation for them to get to even a winning and to score. And then you got Trez. Trez is, I mean, he was good for what he is, but he's not. He should have played all those minutes either. Paul Reed should have been in there, and he wasn't.
You got a lot of static, Wayne. Mute your mic for a minute, Wayne. I've heard a lot of extra background noise.
Man, shut up. Don't you dare talk about my mic.
You're telling you messing up Tim's monologue. Turn that cheap mic off.
But I
I
know
got my
Red
issues
Man.
fixed. I'm good. I'm good now. My issues are under
I'm
control.
good now. I just ain't had it plugged up. Shut up.
Okay. That's a
Red
little
Man,
better.
I see you
That's
said
a little better.
admit how important Embiid is for us. Embiid is important to us. I've never said he isn't important to us.
But see, go ahead. This is when you're talking out both sides of your mouth because you do a lot of hating on Embiid.
No, I never do. I never hate on Embiid. The only thing is I always say he's always hurt and injured.
Is my screen messed up? Is something wrong with my feed? Because I'm sure I heard plenty of hate on Embiid from you on this show. But RJ Lucas, he said we got McCollum again. We did. X-Man says he said Lavine was open because Thibault and the Sixers' best perimeter defenders played 12 minutes. I mean, I can agree with a little bit of that. I could drink a little of that cup. But y'all told me that DeAnthony Melton was supposed to be this great defender. I mean, he's a side defender. He is. He's good. But I don't, and I'm not blaming nobody in particular. Let me start off by saying this. Sometimes you just get hot and can't nobody stop. He hit 1-3. The last 3 he hit kind of showed you how hot he was. With what like 40 seconds left, he did a step back corner 3. He just grabbed it and ran to the corner, turned around and shot it, and that joint was on net. That just lets you know sometimes you just feeling like that, and ain't nothing nobody could do about it. It didn't help that Embiid was missing, and we was trying to, because of Doc not playing Paul Reed, we was trying to cover and stick Vukovic down low, who also couldn't miss. He shot like 63% from the field. So we was scrambling, trying to play help defense, and that allowed a lot of people to get open 3.
Who was Maxey covering this game?
He was trying to cover everybody.
Offensively, he was hooping.
He played well.
But
him and Melton let him down.
No, I agree. No. I'm not putting this loss on Maxey. It felt good to see Maxey actually hooping now. Like it looked like he's back.
Explain why did you come out and say? Don't say you wasn't hating when you was hating.
No, I'm asking that because
what was the point you was making?
Shut your pie hole, then I will.
The point that you make?
My point in asking is it ironic? So what was the cause of us all of a sudden our defense wasn't as good on the perimeter and getting it up?
You know what do you want to say?
Shut up! You just asked me to explain myself, and now you sitting up there talking.
Go ahead.
Was it just because Embiid wasn't there, or was it because we didn't have a solid perimeter defender in there in that lineup? Honestly, to me, everything comes down to PJ Tucker is a waste of a spot in that starting lineup. We can say what we say about Harden. We can say what we say about Maxey, Melton. Tucker is a wasted spot. He really is. Like he really does not bring anything to that spot. Let's keep this in mind. And for the people like Tim that hate on Embiid and talk about him and this, that, and other, because no, because you do hate on Embiid. Guess what? We mop Chicago whenever Embiid plays. They have no answer. Vukovic don't ever get off against Embiid. But lo and behold, Embiid's not in there, and who was the starter?
Usually plays well. He still gets his 20.
Who?
He usually plays well.
Vukovic does not play well against the Sixers. Yes, Embiid puts the business. Embiid gives him the business.
Embiid don't get his, but
Vukovic don't get his against Embiid. No, he does not. No, he does not.
Tim is right. Vukovic still give you about 18.
No, he don't. The last couple times we played him, Embiid killed him. You pull the stats. I remember watching, and Vukovic was non-existent. He was getting in foul trouble every time trying to guard Embiid.
I'll pull the stats on that because last time I remember, for some reason, I remember Vukovic having a pretty.
He probably ain't play.
But I do agree with you. I do agree with you. Sexy scenarios. Harden had a tough shooting night too.
23%.
At one point, yeah, exactly. At one point, he was like 1 for something crazy. It was something. He ended up with 4 for 17. At one point, he was like 2 for like 13.
For 7.
Yeah, exactly. He shot terrible this game. So that didn't help us either. Along with them getting hot and our defense just not having an answer for Zach Lavine tonight. He was just on fire. Then DeRozan didn't get off, but he got off. He was balling. So those two things combined is almost going to guarantee a loss. Now, I do have to call Master the Craft out a little bit. MOTC, I got to call you out a little bit. And RJ is right. You've been a little goofy because I could tell you actually take delight in the Sixers losing when Joel Embiid's not there. And that, to me, is not the hallmark of a true Sixers fan. That's a dude who just is a Joel Embiid fan. And I dig your love and support Joel because I do think he's top 2, top 3 player in the game, if not the best.
Is he from Cameroon?
But probably, probably so. So he has extra love for B. So I dig that, but it's a little goofy for you hating on your team and kind of having taken delight in your team losing because your man not there. That's a little like Tim. That's why you and Tim kind of be butting heads and he take his wrench from you and you get it back, go back and forth. This is why, because Tim did the same thing with the Eagles. When he started hating, he kind of wanted to lose. He like a salty happy when they win type joint. So MOTC, you're doing the same thing, so you gotta fall back with that.
I stand corrected. The last time Vucevic played, B had 25-7. Vucevic had 23-19, but we won 119-109. Yeah. Vucevic was 23-7 the game before that. B was 40-10. Yeah. Then the game before that, Vucevic was 11-11, and the game before that, Vucevic was 4-10. While Embiid was 18-9 and 30-16. So, like I said, Embiid gives him the business. He had a couple good games, but I think one of them games was Sixers was blowing him out, and it was just like, sit Embiid down, let Vucevic get his.
Listen, but I told you I said the last time I remember him having a good game.
Yeah, that's why I said I stand corrected. Yeah, the last game he did, he was a decent game.
You manned up.
He was 8 for 18 for 44% shooting in the game before the last one. That ain't great.
Yes, Redman still does that with Ben Simmons. He do a lot of caping up for Ben. We all know this. But the facts are, to everybody out there listening, the facts are that Joel. I think we all know Joel Embiid is the heartbeat of the team.
I don't know if we all know that.
No, we do. Listen,
I don't know if we all going to own up to that.
We all know that, but at the same time, as fans, it's okay. Like you always say, it's okay to be critical, just like you was about Jalen. There's certain things that you see, weaknesses. It's okay to be critical. It's okay to say, yo, I think he can improve in this. I think he improve on that. What I don't like is somebody acting like, oh, we got to get rid of him and all that goofy talk. I'm not subscribing to that. But when you do see your player every single night, you see his strengths and his weaknesses and where he could get a little bit better. And we know our weaknesses when we missing our star, Joel Embiid. That was huge for us tonight. I do agree if Joel Embiid was there. It helps the defense. It helps our offense, obviously. We probably win the game if Joel Embiid's there. It helps Harden. It helps everybody.
I think this more so is coaching. I believe we could have stayed. We could have competed with them had we just played bigger men.
We competed tonight.
But we lost. I mean, the third quarter, the game.
You said competed. We competed tonight. We was within striking distance at plenty of times tonight.
You gave us 39 points in the third quarter. That was the game.
Okay, but that wasn't the game. They still was within striking distance. The difference is you don't have your 30-point a game scorer and your defensive anchor.
6'5" center.
I'll address that in a second. Go ahead.
And a 6'7" small forward getting lit up, getting switched on screens and everything, getting because Zach Lavine is a small forward. Guess who's the small forward on our team?
Zach Lavine is a 2 guard.
Zach Lavine is shooting guard. I just small forward.
Shut up. That's why I said who was guarding him. He's the 2 guard.
Helmet up. They kept switching on him. He was playing. They were playing the same. The shooting guard and the small forward playing the same position.
I mean, we are at positionless basketball for the most part. So yeah, small forward.
That's shooting guard. DeRozan and Zach Lavine interchangeable.
Yeah. I mean, they both like 6'7". So I mean, they kind of are. I hear what you're saying, but at the same time. The reason why we lost is nobody could stop Zach Lavine. But you're trying to blame it. I see you trying to take a shot probably at
Toby.
Yes. You're trying to get your narrative in there that Toby needs to be more athletic. And if you look at it, if you want to go position for position, Toby was actually on DeRozan. DeRozan ain't played good. So small forward for small forward, that's who Toby played. DeRozan had 12 points. So unless you give me play-by-play, unless you want to go Brian Baldinger and you want to pull your little play sheet up and you want to draw on stuff and do X and O's and Toby was here and he was there, unless you come in with that energy, then you got to fall back on that tonight, all right?
Wow.
Toby
don't let the facts get in your way, Tim.
Truth be told, Toby has been, outside of Joel Embiid, Toby has probably been our most consistent offensive player this year, to be honest with you.
Toby's been inconsistently.
No, I said, listen, I didn't say he hasn't been consistent that time. I said outside of Embiid, he's probably been our most consistent offensive player this year. Even in the
hot streak. I think he had a hot streak. I would say consistent.
Okay,
You saying he had a hot streak? When was the hot streak? Let me ask you this: when was the hot streak? Hold up. When was the hot streak?
I can tell you when it wasn't the last like 7 games.
Okay. So you're saying the last 7? You do realize he was shooting like 40% in the early part of the season, and then during the time when Joel was out, he actually was scoring more points. So when was the cold point? So he's going through a cold stretch now, right?
Yeah, stinging it up. Remember, Mr. K.
So but don't say he's been inconsistent if he's just going through a lot of times. Dudes that's not stars go. This is why you have averages. This is why that's just like with Embiid. Embiid averages 30-something points a game, and he has multiple 40-point a game scores. But guess what? He also has games that's down, and that's why his average is what it is.
But like I said, you might not think Toby's a good player, and that's fine if you think we could do better. I'm cool with you thinking that. I think he's played solid this year. Like I said, don't mix my words or misconstrue my words, Timothy. I said he's been the most consistent after Embiid. I didn't say he's been consistent. I said the most consistent after Joel Embiid, in my opinion, this year on offense. Okay, that's one thing. So
I'll argue Anthony Melton, but go ahead.
Well, Toby had 22 and 11 tonight. You was all hyped up when Collins had 22 and 11. Collins had 20. You see, Collins dropped. Toby had 22 and 11.
Exactly, and he shot 45%. He was one shot away from shooting 50%. He actually was at 50 until he missed that last 3 toward the end of the game. But that's neither here nor there. But let me address something in the comment section real fast because we got a lot of going back and forth. And I dig this. I let the comment section pop in. Mr. Wing said Embiid is the heartbeat of the team. It's just that his heartbeat isn't of a lion. And so that's why
I agree with that.
That's why MOTC says, see, that's why he act the way he act, because people like Mr. Wing be hating. My thing is though, I hear what you're saying, MOTC, about going hard for B and all that kind of stuff like that. But you can't be mad at somebody for questioning Joel's heart right now and saying they want him to go a little harder to take it to that next level, because he hasn't taken us to that next level with sheer grit and will. Exactly. That's when you could kind of say, you know what, I gotta amen him. I gotta acquiesce. I gotta give him his props. He carried us, he put us on his back, and he carried us. That's lion-like heart stature. And I'm not saying he don't have it. I'm saying it has to be shown to certain people, and then after it happens, they can't say nothing else no more. Like my man Steph Curry after the championship, what he say? He said, what else they gonna say? Y'all can't say nothing no more. So after Embiid at least gets us there, I would like him to win it, obviously, but after he gets us there, puts us on his back in one of them playoff series in the Eastern Conference Finals or the second round, he takes it to the next round, then you ain't gonna have no rap. You ain't gonna be able to question his heart. That's what has to happen.
Raven, I agree wholeheartedly. Now, has it been times when Embiid, I'll tell you this, right?
Y'all talked about Pouty and Embiid last year, so don't come on here and act like we ain't talking about Pouty and Embiid.
Exactly.
No. Hold. But when you go back and look at it, honestly, what I said was, to me, it looked like Embiid was concussed. Like it looked like he wasn't right. The way his leg, remember how he was going down trying to play defense and his legs just wasn't in it? Yes, to me, that's something. To me, a lot of that comes with. Remember, he had the whole concussion.
It was his leg.
It ain't had to do with the heart. I'm not saying that it ain't. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Like, to me, that series against Toronto that we lost when we had Jimmy, I thought a lot of that had to do with Embiid when he was sick and he came in with the mopey and this, that, and other. And I put that on him for that game 5. But last year, this man was playing with a concussion. And whatever damage he had in his hand, you're not going to sit here and tell me last year this was Embiid not playing with the heart of a lion. Like, come on, bro.
I mean, listen, like I said, I'm not.
He wasn't legit concussed and had to miss a game?
No. I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
No, I ain't saying you. I'm talking about Tim want to highlight stuff.
And see, Kev Scott is right, because Kev Scott is saying what I'm saying. He said AI had his fair share of haters before he took it to the finals. At a certain point, after AI took us to that next level, nobody could say nothing about AI heart. Nobody could really say, even about the whole practice thing. It was kind of still, it was some haters there with it because people just hated AI because he was different than everybody else. But at a certain point, nobody could question how much heart and passion he put into the game. You couldn't question it.
You could question his practice. How much heart did he have if he ain't want to show up to practice?
No, it's about because he was a little tipsy. He didn't want to come when he was drunk.
No. If we're going to question heart, and AI is my favorite player of all time, but how much heart can you have if you're not showing up to practice and you're not doing things to make your game better? So don't tell me about the heart of a lion. When he got on the court, yes, it was to the wall and everything else. But don't sit here and tell me that I see Embiid's game getting better every year. I see Embiid working on his game every year. I didn't see that from AI. AI just was a natural freak.
When did you see him working on his game?
You don't see improvement in Embiid's game?
When did you see him working on his game?
Well, first of all, when he was hurt remember how when Ben was hurt and he came back with no jump shot still? But remember when Embiid got hurt and all of a sudden he came back and his mid-range was hitting and he had a 3-point shot and Embiid could start doing Euro steps and had a better handle? All that stuff was him working on his game. That was him working on his game.
No, listen, it is. B definitely worked on his game. AI worked on his game too. He may not have been a work on his game Kobe. See, it's different levels to boy working on his game. I think people try to act like AI never went to practice. He never worked on his game. He clearly went to practice, worked on his game, because you don't get to that level and stay at that level for the many years as he did without working on your game. All right. So AI worked on his game, but it is due to take the workout game to another level. AI admitted I ain't go like there's a lot of how many boys for real in history went like Kobe? How many boys in history went like Jordan? How many boys in history went like LeBron?
It was different.
You have a lot of boys that do that, but they don't be on that talent level of a Bron, Kobe, and Jordan. A lot of guys that have that talent level just ride that talent level.
I wouldn't say a lot. I would say it's probably some who.
I definitely think alike.
I don't think a lot because I'm talking about, and the reason why I say a lot because when you hear interviews about Kobe, I know sometimes after somebody passed and Kobe was the Mamba and he got a very staunch fan base, some of the stories grow a little bit, but Kobe was the dude who everybody legit said while they partying and enjoying stuff, he's practicing. He up at 5 a.m. That you don't hear stories often about boys like that. You don't hear stories about
he found time to mess with the chicken in Cleveland in Colorado. So stop making like Kobe. Just
don't do that. Don't do that. We're not going to do that.
He found time to snitch on Shaq. So let's stop making it like Kobe just was all in the gym.
Malika Andrews, is that you? Is that you, Malika? We're not going to hate on that man after he gone. I'm not going to do that.
Why not? It's been time to pass. But the truth is the truth.
Because we're not talking about that. That's what I'm talking about. Dudes having a good time.
Kobe definitely worked on his game because Kobe definitely showed
another level when it came to playing and working on his game. And you see certain dudes following that pattern. I don't think, and matter of fact, it was somebody else. I think it was what's his name? Gilbert Arenas. Somebody came out and said, you'd be surprised how many dudes don't work that hard in their game in the NBA. So the dudes who actually come in there and work on their game, you see a little bit different. You might not see them go to Kobe Jordan level, but you see a separation between some of these dudes. You can see a Devin Booker. You can see Donovan Mitchell. These dudes, you could tell, take their game in that next level, even though they may have not have been the most physically talented or gifted players.
Look at Harden and Harden in his prime. You've seen Harden every year come back and work on shots, and everybody be like, "Why is shooting these shots?" These were the shots he worked on. So, but somebody said something about AI was a visionary with the practice. AI wasn't a visionary with that. You know what? This what gets me with these old heads too. Remember how all the old heads used to hate on AI? You know what? All-time great used to tell his coach and general manager, "You get me one time a day. Do you want it to be practice or the game?" Wilt Chamberlain. That was a quote from Wilt to the coach. But you don't hear these old heads, and now mind you, we the old heads now, but you don't hear our old heads talking about that. They just say, you got to go to practice. They ain't say that. Wilt straight up said that.
Wait, did y'all just say that? Y'all was just talking about practice 2 seconds ago.
I was trolling.
You was hating.
No. But the practice part, I'm saying I don't think that AI really worked on his game like that. Like I see where I do think Embiid works on his game and he's getting drastically better. I think AI just was a freak athlete and talented. I think he could have played football or basketball equally as well. AI was an athlete and couldn't nobody stop AI. And that's why they said AI would sit up there. Somebody was telling a story. They told AI, if you don't drink it, this, that, and other. And AI didn't drink like one game the night before, and he came in and played and he stunk it up. And he's like, nope, I'm going to go back to drinking and do what I do. That's my stuff. AI was just a freak athlete. But that's why his career didn't last as long as these athletes that's lasting like 20 years.
Yeah, I think his career.
They wouldn't let him play.
I think his career.
Let me jump in because I know y'all was going back and forth.
Go ahead.
Sixers, going back to the game, Harden played awful tonight. I mean, you can't shoot that. We needed him to step up tonight, and he didn't play well at all. So a lot of reason why we lost this game. It got to fall on Harden too. I'm not going to blame Tobias and also the coaching, Doc Rivers, and we said this already, but there's no way in the world knowing what the Bulls like to do. You just played them a few weeks ago. There's no reason why you don't start Paul Reed in a situation. I mean, I'm proud of the fact that Maxey got out his shooting slump. He came and hit like 10 points in the first quarter, had like 5 3-pointers. He played well. That's promising. But I keep going back. When I look at the Sixers, my judgment is based off the 5 best teams in the East and how we go, which we are one of them. But I get nervous because I don't think what we saw from Zach Lavine, we can get that from Tatum or we can get that from Jalen.
But we also would get 40 from Embiid. So
it does.
I'm just irritated that we let this happen twice. I gotta see if that happened to any team 2 times in like a month. And actually that happened on us December 30th. So we talking about 2 times within the past little over a week, maybe, or just about a week. Because that might have been like last Friday or Thursday.
It was last Friday.
Yeah, so in a week time, we just got 2 players to score 10 over 10 threes. I think they both hit 11 threes. That has to be some kind of record. I'm sure it is. That a team has had double-digit 3-pointers hit on them within a week.
That's also Maxey. That's when Maxey came back last Friday.
Well, that's why I asked the question.
That's actually kind of funny.
Is it a coincidence?
That's a coincidence.
I don't know.
That's a coincidence. That's not. The Maxey didn't even play that much. He was on.
He didn't play that game though, did he? He didn't play our first game.
First game.
No,
our first game against OKC. I thought the second game against OKC was his first.
No, against the Pelicans.
First game, he didn't play against OKC.
I mean, I meant the Pelican. My fault. I meant the Pelican. His first game wasn't the first game against. He didn't play until we came home, right?
His first game was against the Pelicans. He settled on the back-to-back, and then he played his first home game.
Remember when he had the first home game? It was cheering for him on his first home game, but he played that Pelican. But he was on minute restriction. I think he might have played like 20 minutes that game or something. So you can't blame on him.
And I don't know because what's his name wasn't getting McCollum wasn't getting off until the bench came in that first game, and that's when Maxey came in. Oh,
we got to pull the tape on that. But
no, I'm trolling.
Going back real quick to AI and B. AI did have heart. AI had heart. That's one thing that, I mean, you could talk about AI practice and everything, but when he got on that court, he was a lion. I'm just concerned. B, to me, I'm not questioning his altogether. I think he has heart, but you can argue whether his heart is, whether it's a lion stature or like a pit bull stature or something. Like, yeah, I mean, he might have a little pit bull in him. He'd go bite at you and all that kind of like that. But a lion is on a different level of animal, of predator, of just determination. Do B got that lion heart? I think that's a fair question. And just to say, yeah, he do, because he's a very good player. It's like LeBron. LeBron was probably the best player in the league at one point, but guess what people question? People question LeBron's heart. And it was legitimate because you didn't see those moments when LeBron galvanized the troops, put everybody on his back and said, you know what? Come hook or crook, this game is mine. And when you seen people seeing LeBron take that next step to that next level, that's when I said, you know what? LeBron an animal. He
and listen, Embiid's my favorite player in the league right now, but I gotta agree with you. I don't think he's that assessment that you just made. I agree. He's not the lion. He's more the pit bull, because the lion even if you play with injuries, the guys that plays with injuries, that's a lion heart. They're not moping around as they do it. It's like they out there and it's like, well, I'm going to do what I'm doing. It's not, you see, I'm playing hurt. I'm like, I mean, even though Mike did a little bit of that, but I think when Mike did it, it was like, I agree. That's what I think. I think Mike was doing it like for the 52 fake out, like the, wait, what was it? You remember the, back in the day, the Cosby Show, and they were saying like Theo or something. He was like, yeah, the trick, you walk back like you hurt. And then when you get in there, then you run out. You act like you hurt after the play. Then after you go out and ball out.
Hey, Rep man, I kind of agree. He said, honest question, did Tim Duncan have heart? It's just, how can y'all tell? Heart, line, mentality is such a nebulous and vague term. It is, but you know what reminds me of? I kind of agree with you a little bit, but it's like this.
It's that you
know how you see somebody and you say, yo, he got that it factor. Like it's something you can see a young bull and he playing amongst everybody else. And you say, yo, it's something different about that.
Yeah.
I don't think Tim Duncan had a lion heart.
But you might not be able to describe what it is. A lot of people can't describe what that it is, but you know it when you see it. You can smell it. You can just taste it. Like, yo, that he got it. It's something about it. He got it that nobody else in that whatever arena he playing in, nobody's really got it. That's what that lion heart is. You could just see it and you could sense it, and it's just something different happening, man.
Embiid needs a big brother. Embiid needs a big brother. Like he needs that Jimmy Butler on his team. He'll be your best like partner in crime. But as far as that dude, he don't have it. Like even Steph, he might be a light bright darn near, but he had it. And then we got and Jordan got it, LeBron got it, D Wade had it, he lost it. But
I seen
he lost
I seen Steph's eyes look questionable at times. And then Clay coming in and pick him up. Steph, I seen his eyes look questionable at times.
No, Steph a different animal. Like you see them.
And do KD really got it?
That's what I honestly question a little bit. I actually question
KD got it. KD definitely got it.
How?
Listen,
I'm trolling Ephraim about Steph, but let's keep it a bean. KD wasn't. Where was that lion heart at when he went up against Bron in the finals the first time? It wasn't there. And where was that lion heart when he was getting shut down by Boston? It wasn't there. So KD kind of like the fake tough dude to me.
No, that's not true. I've seen him light up Rutgers. He goes anywhere and he balls. He loves.
Did he ball when Boston put them out? Remember how historically bad he played that series?
If you're gonna hold him to the same level as anybody else that lost in the first round of playoffs, then you got every great has lost at one point in the first round of playoffs.
See,
Did Bron before last year? He didn't.
LeBron lost the first round before, I'm sure.
Not till last year. LeBron went like 19 years without losing in the first round.
I'm gonna tell you when
I'm
gonna tell you when you can see somebody got heart, right? When they lead and everybody else follow. When you could get into a huddle and you start screaming on balls and you start pointing fingers and you start flexing on cats and you like, yo, stop playing, give me the ball or get out the way or do something with it. When you start talking like that and you start following your lead, that's when you know you got that leadership lion mentality. That's one of the ways you could kind of see it when somebody moving like that. I don't see B move like that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he don't got no heart, but it's a different type of animal. Like I said, you saw Bron make that maturation. You saw even Curry do that. And I remember that year they was losing like crazy. The year they made the play-in tournament, I think they was like 5 games out of 8 plays, and Curry just went off on the whole team and just started screaming everybody. Next thing you know, they went like 10 of the next 12 games or something like that and got into the AC. But it's stuff like that. And then that championship game against Boston, you seen him do that when he put Boston to sleep early. He did the night in the third quarter. It's certain times you see certain players just do that for their team. When D Wade did that against Dallas, when he took over in the finals when Shaq was on the team, you seen D Wade galvanize the troops like, yo, let's go. Either give me the rock, get out my way, or do something with the ball. Let's go. And he took his team to victory.
Let me address this Chicago fan. I'm guessing Shy's son is a Chicago fan.
That's both.
Zach Lavine is not better. Zach Lavine is not better than James Harden. Even with James Harden in his older stage, Zach Lavine is not better than James Harden. No.
I don't know.
Why? What makes him better? What's the season stats?
I gotta think on this for a minute.
What's the season stats?
Yo, he speaks only for himself right now.
So we're going to Zach Lavine is averaging 22, 4, 4, 22, 4, 4, and Zach Lavine also don't even want to play there.
Does not reflect anybody.
Zach Lavine, I don't care. It ain't got to. Zach Lavine is not better than James Harden right now. In what way? Where is he better than him?
I got to think on that for a minute. I'm
not gonna make that statement. That's a strong statement to make right now.
Where is he better than him at? It was a strong statement to say that Zach Lavine is better. Times change. Where is he better than James Harden?
He's a better scorer than him right now.
By what? A couple points? He's not a better rebounder. He's not a better assist man.
He's more efficient from 3 and from the field. Efficiency is a big thing. He's shooting 46%.
Yeah, for you, efficiency is a big thing.
I mean, he's shooting 45.7. He's shooting 37.8 from the 3. And he's averaging 22 points a game this year.
And what's Harden shooting from 3?
Like 35.
Let me see. You can pull that up in a second. James Harden is shooting trash. It's like, no, let me see. James Harden is shooting for this season. There you go. He's shooting 36% from 3.
And you just told me Zach Lavine shooting 37%. So we really going. So we going to hype up 1% of 3 to my album.
And he's shooting 43% field goal. So he's 3% better field goal and 1% better point. And Harden's averaging 22 points a game this year. So
exactly. And Harden's averaging what, like 8 rebounds or 8 assists at least. Zach Lavine's averaging 4 assists.
Harden's averaging 10.8 assists a game and 6 rebounds.
Okay, 8 and 6. Zach Lavine's averaging 4 and 4.
No.
So where is that?
You're not listening. You're not listening. I said Harden's averaging 10.8 assists a game.
10.8. Oh yeah. Oh. So where's Lavine better? So tell me where Lavine is better.
I said I had to think on it. I didn't jump to a conclusion.
I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about Tim and the Chicago people.
How many points is Lavine averaging a game?
22.
22.
Oh.
Okay.
So they're about the same.
No, they not. One is averaging 10 assists and the other is averaging 4.
Well, how old is Lavine? Lavine is what, 26?
What do that?
That wasn't the question. That wasn't the question right now. You talking about future term. You talking about right now. You said Zach Lavine is right now better than Harden. So we got to analyze. We got to break down. I haven't been watching all year. Don't get caught up in the moment. Zach Lavine, this is not indicative of how he's been playing all year. 11 for 13 from 3 is a complete anomaly. Once again, like I told you about CJ McCullough, I guarantee next season. Watch Zach Lavine's stats next game. He probably won't.
Why did that happen to the Sixers twice in a week?
Because Maxey was back.
Because Harden was sticking him.
Don't do that, Wayne. Wayne, don't do that. Wayne, don't.
Because Maxey was back.
Or was it Harden?
Wayne, don't you do that.
That's the question. Was it Harden?
You didn't even know Maxey was playing. You didn't even know Maxey.
One night it was the point guard, the other night it was the 2 guard.
I don't know. RJ said.
I mean, all I know is the night when the point guard got off, it wasn't when the starters was in. It wasn't until the bench came in when Maxey and the bench came in, and then he got off. He started getting heated up.
No, listen. RJ Lucas said exactly what I was saying. Zach had pixie dust tonight. Don't let that game hype you. This is exactly how we got PJ Tucker. This is exactly how we ended up getting PJ Tucker. We got hyped up off a couple playoff games.
That did something to me. All right, we
ended up Durant, and he arguing with Mama Durant on the sideline, and he doing all these theatrics, making it look like he's doing more than what he really is.
And he got $30 million out of it. Just out of curiosity, what was the stat line tonight? Because I'm sure
PJ Tucker, I think he had either 2 points or no. I think he made 1 shot.
He did make a shot. Oh, congratulations. You played yourself.
We played ourselves.
Give him the quarter.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
2 points, 3 rebounds, and you felt they'll need that. That's a good start for him.
Wasn't Lavine an option before they had Harden? I think most didn't want to trade though. Yeah, listen. I mean,
I like Lavine. I actually wanted the Sixers to get Lavine.
I do like the Sixers. Somebody said do tell me like anybody on the Sixers. I do. You know there's a stat out there that says that Thibault, when he plays 20 or more minutes a game, we're 8-0. But we like have a losing record when he don't play. He played 12 minutes today. Though Doc understands statistics.
Tim, let me ask you this: Would you trade Maxey for Zach Lavine right now?
Maxey for Zach Lavine? I might have to.
No.
The reason why, because I have with the bull Melton. Melton's proved to me that he's a qualified, like he's a good candidate for the shooting guard position. Him and Hart in the backcourt, Zach Lavine at the small forward position.
Melton didn't play that good tonight, though.
I didn't say he played well tonight. I'm just saying he was in foul trouble, by the way. That's
Melton's been inconsistent. Look at Melton's stats. Melton hasn't been as great as everybody try to act like he's just like putting.
You're a Melton hater.
Numbers.
Easy money. Yes, he did stink tonight. I think it shows the difference when Embiid makes everybody's defense better. This is I'm my fault. I didn't mean to disrupt y'all, but this is the difference Embiid makes. Like, people don't want to give Embiid the props that he deserves on defense. Embiid's so slow. He slows the team down. When they don't have Embiid, they got to get into this rip and run up and down the court type setting, and that helps other teams too. But that help, like, you know how y'all, that's fun basketball to watch him. Embiid slows it down. It's fun basketball to watch him rip and run up and down the court. It ain't fun when the other team, it ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun. When the other team ripping and running up and down and shooting these open threes in your neck. It ain't fun.
Realize we were 6-3 this year without Embiid. We had a 2-1. We had a good winning percentage.
I mean, sometimes
we was losing every game. This wasn't 2 years ago when we lost all the games. We had a good winning percentage.
Sometimes you got to look at who you playing, where you playing them at.
Yes.
You look at Golden State, for example. I talk about Golden State because I watched.
You did, Ethan.
But why you?
But
29 other teams.
Listen,
and all you do is talk about Golden State.
Calm down. Listen. Calm down and listen. Golden State right now is on their homestand. They 4-1. Tim called it. He said they're gonna win. They got a chance to win the next 7 games. They got a chance to go almost 7-0 without Curry. They 4-1 without Curry. How many people will argue that they're a better team without Curry, or they just as good? Nobody will say that. They had a very favorable schedule right now. They all home games, and they playing against Detroit. They beat Detroit. I think the Spurs and somebody like Atlanta or somebody.
But we know we're not a better team without.
Who are right for the pick.
We know that. We know we're not a better team without Embiid.
Yeah, so what point are you making about them being 6-3 without Joel Embiid?
What I'm saying is, I'm just saying, y'all trying to say, Wayne was trying to make a point where, he was trying to big up Embiid like we can't win. I said we have won a lot of our shared games without him.
And we won a lot of share with Embiid too.
Absolutely.
23-15.
So what point are you arguing, though?
I want to know what the point he was arguing.
No, actually, I didn't say anything about winning. I said about defense. My point was defense. When Embiid plays, our defense is way better. We slow the other teams down. That's my point.
Wasn't hearing that when me and Ethan was saying the reason why Ben is this all-world defender that y'all was trying to say Embiid was the man in the middle. We said that.
Ben's playing good defense now, though.
But I still believe that we could win this game.
Oh, so now it's Claxton. So first it was B, now it's Claxton.
I will say this though, real quick.
Game if we just played the right players.
I will say this, and we talked about this a little early. We jumped off of it.
Your volume is kind of low. I can hardly hear you. My
volume's kind of low. All right, let me try to turn it up. But did anybody notice that as soon as Paul Reed got in the game, we went on a 14-5 run? Did y'all peep that?
That's what I was saying.
Energy.
He was in there. He grabbed 2 rebounds fast. He had 2 he grabbed, and then 1 he actually helped Tobias grab from staying active.
That's what I
he
said.
Was very active in the middle when he got in the game. If stuff like this to me don't show Doc that I at least got to get this kid another chance again, especially when Embiid's missing games, then nothing will.
And that's why I said Paul Reed should be the starting power forward.
I see it just differently.
Okay.
That's why I say to me,
as I said, we touched on it. I want to go back. What you say?
To me, Paul Reed should be the starting power forward.
I don't know about start. I don't think he's ready to start. I would actually, like I said, I would start.
I think as this,
Trez,
right? But Trez likes coming off the bench better. I think Paul Reed as the power. I think Paul Reed as the starting power forward. You have all these vets around him, so you don't need him to do nothing but hustle, get them rebounds. If he hasn't Embiid out there, it's Paul Reed. If you get the rebound, kick it back out there to Embiid or Harden. When he's in there with the bench, Paul Reed's like, I'm gonna get this rebound. I'm gonna get my points.
And then what happens is 2 things. You can play that small line with Melton as your small forward, or when we want to kick out for that 3-pointer, we don't got to worry about no rebounds because you got the young boy down there grabbing boards and everything, get those second shot opportunities.
I mean, listen, I just think he's not smart enough to be in the starting role yet. I still think I'm like what Tim was saying earlier. I mean, he kind of switched the tune now, saying he want him starting, but I just want him to get some time to get maturity. So when the second half of the season after the All-Star break, come toward playoff time, he has the mentality, the knowledge, and the experience to make smart plays in crucial situations. He don't have that much time under his belt. Him playing all these minutes in the G League, it's cool. It helps out some, but the best experience he could get is on the NBA floor, and Doc ain't giving him enough time.
But see, this is where I don't agree with what you said. You said in crucial moments. I didn't say that he got to play down the stretch. I'm saying to start him. See, this was everybody get caught up with this stuff when you say who's starting, who's coming off the bench. Just because you're starting don't mean you're finishing the game.
But I'm saying starting him, you're putting him from the rip against the best of the best power forwards that the other team has to offer.
And guess what?
Coming gradually against the second tier, who are still very good NBA players, but let him come against a little second tier boy and get his smarts up.
But against the second tier boy, he's going straight up against them. Against the starters, for the most part, they're sending help to help Embiid or help Harden, so he'll have more open opportunities to get rebounds. And he don't have to think as much. He don't have to do as much because you got that star power around you. When you coming in with the bench, it's harder for you to get you going against lesser talent for the most part, but you're also getting focused on. Whereas though when you coming in with, if you got Embiid, Harden, Toby, Maxey, and then you the fifth dude, they looking at him. They not really looking at him as being a threat.
I mean, we could argue all day back and forth of whether we think he should start or not. But the fact of the matter is, I think he needs playing time. Regardless whether he's starting to come off the bench, he needs to play. And I think at least you can gradually insert him into the lineup at certain points here and there. Like I said, y'all know I watch Golden State. I love the way Kerr has done that with his young players. So now that when Curry do get hurt, when Clay is on minute restrictions and home play back-to-backs and all that stuff, them young boys come in hooping. That's why they was able to win some games without him in the lineup. So you got to get them young boys some time, and it just irritates me that we need a young boy with energy who can grab rebounds, and he's sitting there on the bench, and he's not getting no playing time. That actually irks me, and it irked me a lot tonight when Vukovic was grabbing doggone near 20 rebounds. He might have had 20. I know he had like 18 or 19.
I mean, no sense. And that's courtesy of that's Doc Rivers. All Doc got to do is give him the opportunity to play basketball. Yeah. He's Doc. But you can't, how can you hate on him too much when you literally 3 games out of first place with all them injuries?
I mean, I agree. But I mean, that's the stuff that as projecting as Sixers fans, when you start projecting toward the playoffs and you start projecting late in the season when dudes may get nicked up, may need some time off, and these are dudes that can help you keep that number one or get that number one seed, he might not be ready. And then when you try to force him in there, then he do something goofy, then you snatch him right out the game. And it's like, yeah, of course, I understand why he's doing goofy stuff because you ain't playing him all year. So,
I mean to say Morey isn't a good GM.
Well, I mean, House was trash that he brought in. PJ
okay, Tucker, but he brought in Melton. He brought in Harold. He brought in Harden. I mean,
Harden. To me, that was bad. I think
bringing in Harden was bad.
If Harden walks, yes, and Harden may very well walk this off season.
You smoking?
But
if you said bringing in Harden was bad, you're smoking.
Yeah, no, Harden was good.
Okay,
Charlie M. What you
didn't help us last year.
You other choice. I mean, maybe I'm not understanding.
Tell me how is Harden? In all honesty, James
Harden playing cool. We leaving Harden alone. Harden doing his thing. Stop hating on Harden.
I'm not hating on Harden, but you must have said it was a great trade when right now there hasn't been a great trade.
Harden's averaging 20.
Why? What did we give up for Harden?
Ben Simmons.
So you want to hype Ben Simmons? You trying to hype Ben Simmons? No, and you talk about
I'm trying to hype the idea.
You worked in the trolls in the chat.
Time, his value was high enough to get those.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was. We could have got them Pacers players. That
okay. And didn't Harden just get that young boy to business?
No, that young
shut up. What he did?
Business.
What did Harden just do? What did Harden just do against Indiana?
Did you come on here in our personal polo saying Harden took it personal because they kept running Halliburton at him and then Harden shut him down?
Halliburton was killing
and Harden shut him down in the fourth quarter to 2 points?
In the first 3 quarters, it was
when Harden said, I'm going to clamp this young boy, he clamped him.
All right. So you telling me a Halliburton that's 23 years old that could be your point guard for the next 12 years?
I don't care about next 12 years. Is Halliburton better than James Harden right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen.
Yes. I would take a backcourt.
I don't think Halliburton could have hurt us, but my point is
I don't think it hurt his season.
Tim,
and injured James Harden.
No. Tim, I don't think you was clamoring for Halliburton before the trade. So don't get revisionist history, and now you want to get Monday. You want to play Monday morning armchair quarterback, and you want to start saying we should have got Halliburton. Me and Ethan was probably the only ones who saying we need. Y'all was waiting for. Y'all was saying you was vouching for. No, see, what you're not going to do. You're not going to do. You was vouching for more.
If you're going to tell my story, let me tell
I'm telling it because you're trying
to. I'm going to tell my story because you're putting words in my mouth. This is what happened. What I said is, don't make that trade for Ben Simmons because James Harden's going to be available in free agency. Don't do it. That's been my whole. I said we can still get him, but don't get him now.
No, Tim did say that, and Tim also said he would have traded Ben Simmons for what's the fat boy from Philly, that when they're going to Miami. Remember he was ready to trade. No. Remember you was ready to trade Ben. You was ready to trade Ben. You was ready to trade Ben to bring in Kyle Lowry.
No, I wasn't. That wasn't the trade. It was Dybul for Kyle Lowry.
No, it was not. It was Ben.
I would never have said trade Kyle Lowry for Ben Simmons.
Tim was on board with Morey waiting and holding out for what he was saying was a star caliber player because Tim and Morey and a lot of people felt that Ben was a star, and he kept saying this phrase. Tim said this phrase in our polo chat, in our text chat, and on this podcast. You don't give pennies on the dollar for somebody like Ben Simmons. So he was saying that Halliburton ain't valuable enough. You were saying these other trades wasn't valuable enough. You needed to get somebody like Harden, and that's what you got. So stop drilling about it. You got Harden, you want him, now you deal with it.
Do not trade for Harden when you can get him for free. He was
You were not going to get him for free. You were not going to get him for a free agent.
He was free. We didn't have. We gave him all that draft capital. You didn't have to because he was going to be available. He was just like this year. He's a free agent.
What draft capital they gave him?
We gave him all these first round. We gave him like 2 first round picks.
It wasn't a whole bunch of first round picks. Remember the first round? You mean the first round pick that we still had this year because the Nets said they didn't want it?
We gave them multiple first round picks, and we also gave them the bull. We gave him Seth, Drummond, and which we call, you know what we gave him. When that's all that could have stayed.
And what does Seth and Drummond do in the playoffs?
Because the thing is, we could have kept all of them.
You didn't answer my question. You just went on to a whole other thing. What did they do?
Doesn't matter.
You said we could have kept them.
Matter what he did with them.
You said we could have kept them. Drummond is not with the team. He's not with the Nets now. So how do you know Drummond would have came back and stayed here as the Sixers went out for James Harden and free agency?
I didn't know that.
And you also wouldn't have DeAnthony Melton, and you also wouldn't have Daniel.
Why not?
Because Harden took less money so that they could bring them in. So if you would have signed Harden as a straight up free agent, you wasn't getting Harden at a discount. You was not getting him at a discount.
For Danny Green, that had nothing to do with nothing.
If Harden came here as a free agent, you were not getting him at the discount. Remember that was the whole thing because he was with the Sixers. He could sign, and he signed that. He renegotiated his contract. He took that extension for lesser money.
Why would we be in
a free agency? You think he was going to take lesser money to come here in free agency?
Why not? He was a free agent this year. He still was a free agent. He still was a free agent.
Okay, Tim, listen here.
He was we signed him as a free agent. He was
bottom line is
any team.
The bottom line is you were not on board with Halliburton. Y'all didn't think he was good enough. When I was mentioning Jordan Poole and Wiggins and all that, Wayne agreed. Wayne was cool with it. He hated it a little bit at first, but once he seen how Wiggins was balling, he seen how Poole was balling, he said, I'll go with that. You kept saying, no, they're going to pull the trigger too fast. You don't give up pennies on the dollar for this, that, and the third. You wanted a superstar. So you got what you asked for, whether or not you felt we could have waited or felt we could have traded. You got what you asked for because when me and Ethan was saying Halliburton, let me finish. When me and Ethan was saying Halliburton and we was throwing other deals out there like Wiggins and Poole and they was considering Draymond and all sorts of stuff like that, and I was saying go, you kept saying no. So guess what you got? You got Harden now. So deal with it.
No.
And let's move on. Next topic. Why is PJ Tucker still in the starting lineup? That's what we're arguing about.
Because Harden brought him here. And it goes right back to Harden.
Somebody said something about Morey not being able to draft. Last year, who did he draft? Bassey? Was Bassey a bad draft pick? I mean, people's.
They should have kept. I
mean, Springer. We don't know what Springer is because he don't ever get no kind of shine on a.
That's Doc Rivers.
But I'm just saying, for us to say that for someone to say that Morey doesn't draft, we don't know what he drafts because we don't get to see the young people play.
Hey, Charlie, and not agree, but Charlie M. and I agree with you a little bit. You do got to ask how much these teams want to Ben, but it was a lot of interest in Ben. Sixers price tag was enormously high for everybody but Harden. This what irritated me because when they first traded for Harden, I'm on this this podcast record saying that they should, what they gave up for Harden, for what they gave up for Harden, yes, they could have got a king's ransom from any other team. If they put that package together and went to Sacramento, if they'd have put that package together and went to Golden State, they'd have put that package together and went to any other team, they could have got a king's ransom for what they offered Ben. We still could have draft picks probably to 2033 somewhere. Yep, that was my thing about that. But Morey was trying to convince all these other teams that Ben's value was so high that he wanted. Remember it was going around how he wanted people firstborn sons and all this other stuff for Ben Simmons. Y'all remember that, Joe? How he was asking for all these first round draft picks.
His value was high. That's what I'm saying. His value was high.
It wasn't as high. No, it wasn't.
High as Morey wanted it to be, but it was high.
No, it
before anybody saw him play, like, oh, Dave, he can't play like no more. Before then, people was clamoring. The calls were coming in.
Yeah, but it was too much.
Remember we were talking about trading Ben, and then when Ben pouted, remember when it was all this talk, Golden State is interested in getting Ben Simmons, and then Ben Simmons said, I'm not going to play. And all of a sudden, all these GMs around the league was like, don't know if we want to deal with that. So Ben didn't have a high value after that.
Hey, MOTC, Tim is not making a good argument about nothing. Tim is showing his fraudulence because he was stuck on trading something real high for Ben, and now he's regretting that we got who we got for Ben. So be happy who you got, you got. Harden.
You keep saying that I wanted to trade Harden for Ben Simmons, and I told you I never wanted that deal.
No, but my thing is,
said we're going to sign him as a free agent.
But you didn't have nobody. You didn't say nobody else. You kept saying pass on these other people. So that's who you got. That's my point. You said pass on Halliburton. You said pass on Wiggins and Poole.
This is what ideally I wanted.
X-Ray made a good point. We was trying to get Dame. Remember he wanted Dame.
Yeah,
that was he was trying to get Dame, but Dame ain't want to come.
But my whole idea, my dream was really for Ben to get over what he was going through and just play and have Harden as a free agent.
And that was your problem.
And we had Harden, Ben, and Embiid. And you can't tell me Harden, Ben, and Embiid, and Maxey wouldn't have been a better lineup than PJ Tucker.
Because you said Harden, Ben, and Embiid. It wasn't going to happen. Ben Simmons wasn't going to be.
I said that's what I wanted.
Ben wasn't playing.
I want $1 million. Evidently, we don't get what we want.
You got to dream big.
Oh, yeah, we want to build, too. That is we wanted. We want to build. But my thing is, that's what I'm saying. When you realize that you wasn't getting this superstar who you wanted, right? When you realize that, that's when you should have got a package of players who would have been able to fill multiple roles, like a Wiggins and a Poole. And he was even talking about Wiseman. Wiseman is actually a pretty solid big man. I think he could still make some. I know they sent him down to the G League, did a little bit of learning, but I think
Wiseman is trash. You know, he can't even stay on the court.
No, he back playing with Golden State now. He just went down to the G League for like 2 weeks. Wiseman, actually, I'm telling you, Wiseman's going to be a very good ball.
How valuable? They just sent him down this year. So how valuable would it have been to us if they keep sending him down? He can't even make it on the star.
They did that to Jordan Poole too. Now look at Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole was down there for a whole month.
Stop with the cap. Stop with the cap. Ben Simmons found any and every reason to blame everybody but himself.
They did,
and people like Tim co-signed on that. It wasn't about being thrown under the bus. You talking about being first of all,
absolutely right.
First of all, guess what? The whole thing that he was mad about Embiid didn't say Ben Simmons should have dunked the ball. He said we went from an opportunity where we had an open dunk, but instead we ended up missing the free throw. He said no names, but because we knew Ben Simmons was a scared puppy and threw the ball, we knew what it applied to. He didn't say Ben Simmons' name. You the same person that wants to say, "Oh, see Ben Simmons." Man, I don't want to.
Now we gotta play what Joel's thinking. We know what he was thinking. We know what he meant.
Martin Lynch, you absolutely right. 33, you absolutely right. We were talking about Ben because we got Ben loyalists. You would think Ben was Steph Curry the way Tim and Herb and a couple other people love bringing Ben name up. Like we miss him so much now, and Harden is so much of a downgrade to Ben and all this whole other stuff like this. And that's what I was trying to get back to. Harden, and I agree with Wayne, Harden's having a very good year. 22, 6 and 10, solid stats. He had a bad game tonight, so you're gonna get people panicking and now he trash and we should trade Harden and blah blah blah. If B was here tonight, it reminds me of the Eagles a little bit. Remember how everybody panicked and everybody is analysts and some Eagles fans when we lost the game to the Saints. Oh no, it's a fatal flaw with this team. No, we just missed Jalen Hurts. We had Jalen Hurts. We'd have blew the Saints out 35 to 13.
Yeah, I agree.
But and you would have never heard none of this. If we'd have beat tonight, we'd have won, and we wouldn't be talking about Harden versus Ben Simmons and yada yada yada. So we got to keep in perspective. We lost one game without the general, without our captain, without our leader, without our best player, without possibly the league's best player, maybe second to Curry, but that's neither here nor there.
Maybe second to Luka.
And no, maybe second to Curry, but we lost without him, and now we move on to the next game. Hopefully, this injury don't last and start becoming a nagging.
I don't think it's. I think it's just a matter of. I think they thought they could have beat Chicago without him.
We should have.
I think if we'd have lost the last game, B would have played tonight.
I think it was a scheduled day off for him anyway. I think they just wanted them to just chill out.
And yes, Embiid did say something about turnovers. He also did say about turnovers, but people didn't hear that. Ben Simmons didn't hear that, and Ben Simmons fans didn't hear that Embiid said about the turnovers. And I'll to this day, and I to this day will argue if your point guard handled the ball and didn't run from the ball, you wouldn't need Embiid to handle the ball.
So what explains last year when he had another 8 turnovers?
And we'll see. What are you talking about? I'll always give B. I told you that B is my favorite player next to Steph. It's Steph, then B. They like 1A and 1B. I've been waiting to tell you. I've been talking about B since he came out of college, came out of Kansas. I've been a huge B fan. I'm still a B fan. That's why you hear Tim. Remember before, way some time ago, when it was certain people they will not be named, was saying Ben Simmons should be the cornerstone of the franchise and all this old stuff.
No, don't say will not be named. Name them.
What? I'm not in the
name him. He want to come in here,
business.
pop in here, and say little stuff in the chat when he want to say it.
I'm not in the AJ Brown business throwing people under the bus, so I refrain from saying his name. But
is he related to you?
I plead the fifth. All during that time, I rode for B and will continue to ride for B. B is
you wasn't a big B fan like that. You remember you saying you was gonna call ice on him. Stop.
No, see, don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
B that ball. Dwayne's right. He's improved his game drastically every single season you've seen B add to his game. My only thing I've ever been critical of B, and I think it was valid when I said he needs to learn to pass better. Down low, I did double teams.
I agree.
It's a lot of things. He pouts too much because that affects the team.
You see him doing a lot of pouting this year?
I'm not hating. I can't.
No. I know. You said he pouts, and I'm asking you this year. Do you see him doing a lot of pouting?
Historically, he's pouted.
We're not talking about historic.
Historically, that's what he do.
You're saying historically,
but this is stuff we're talking about.
Aren't we talking about a player getting better every year? So has he not got better at that this year? Whereas though he don't pout as much?
Not as much, but he's. I don't know.
Where do you see him doing a bunch of pouting?
Nothing in the NBA, as you know. Nothing matters until that second round of playoffs. I don't care what he do up until the last game of the first round. Once we get to the second round of playoffs, that's
then what are you watching for? Then what are you watching for? What are you critiquing for?
I'm enjoying the journey.
Then what are you critiquing for then? Then don't critique anything from anybody until the second round of the playoffs.
Early money, even the season.
Just sit there, just set the pot up and shut up. And me and Ephraim will talk like knowledgeable fans, and you just wait till the playoffs.
All right.
Like all the other casuals. No,
Wayne, that's normally what happens. Tim just interjects about Ben every now and then. But normally me and you and Ethan add to the show and Tim brings up Ben Simmons and then we got to go off track 15, 20 minutes, talk about Ben Simmons for a minute before somebody in the comments.
Before we spend 10, 15 minutes talking about Steph Curry. So
I knew that was coming.
Steph Curry's a legitimate Hall of Fame player who's top 10.
Exactly.
You can't say that about Ben.
No further questions, Your Honor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
When we play again. When's our next game?
All right, we play on Sunday. We play Sunday afternoon before the Eagles game. Well, 3:00 we play Detroit, and then 4:25 the Eagles versus.
I want to see Detroit's been playing kind of. I think Detroit's been playing solid lately. I feel like they got a couple nice wins. I don't know. I might just be tripping.
All right, we wrap. It'll be over for hours. I'm gonna wrap this thing up.
Detroit stinks though, but.
I just want to give a shout out to the young boy who, what's his name? He made it through. I mean, he lost his life almost on the field, and the fact that he's out and talking to his family and friends. That's just encouraging. So shout out to him. I can't think of his name though. What's his name? From Hamlin.
Yeah.
The Pistons been scoring a lot of points lately.
I want to start to show off by saying that that was, hey man, look, if that don't show you nothing, to show you the power of prayer. I think he had everybody praying for him.
Yeah.
Hey, look, my personal sentiments is always remember your spiritual fitness and keep your spiritual fitness up. That's a huge thing.
DeMar Hamlin. Thanks.
DeMar Hamlin. You never know when you might need the power of prayer to come to your rescue. But I mean, that thing was amazing to see him in that type of situation, 9-minute CPR and all that.
Yeah, shout out to the staff of the.
Can I at least finish a little bit? Yeah, I mean, can I?
Go ahead, get him with the Shane, get him with the Uncle Shay.
I mean, I'm just in the middle of my.
You know what?
Here's the thing: when I'm giving a shout out, you gave me 3 seconds, but I got to give you 3 minutes. Help me make.
You forgot his name, and I came in and rescued
and you didn't know.
And I finished what you was trying to say.
Captain Sabo.
Yes, I'm always saving this ball. That's in my nature. I don't know. No,
as I wind down, I'm trying to end it, not continue it.
Anyway, like we were saying, I do agree with you though, Tim. Go ahead. Shout out to the staff because you're right about that. They came through right there.
They came through, giving that CPR like on the field, doing this thing. Like praises to all of them though, for real.
You ain't give a shout out to the other player, Tim.
Who?
The former player that saved his kids.
Oh yeah, I hope he's doing well. I know they say he have his kidneys issues and everything, but he saved the kid's life and everything. So I don't know his name at all, but shout out to him as well.
That was the football. What's his name? It's a football player. I can't remember. You sent the text or something like that.
I did.
But yeah, no, I mean, listen, hey man, I can't agree with you more. God is good. Hey, look, hopefully, I don't know what's in his future as regards, trying to play again. I know football players have a mentality to try to play again, but sometimes you gotta be happy. You gotta be happy with your second chance and be like, because they said the doctors asked him when he woke up, he said, "Do we win?" And the doctor said, "You won the game of life, bro."
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what you want. That's your reward, and do your best to keep winning that game.
Pray for wins. That's Wayne guy. Oh yeah, and finally, James Harden. The only reason why he got traded in the first place is because he quit on his team in the Brooklyn Nets. But thanks for watching. Thanks for calling. Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, the MVP beat Luka and Embiid. I think they got Embiid 2 in the MVP race. Luka right now they got 1, and I think Embiid is like 2 or 3 in the race.
And Steph Curry, nowhere to be found.
No, he's not there. He's just going to win